Hello everybody, Jordan here. The PH is silent, and it's been a while, but I'm digging back into Eberron. In this video, I'm going to talk about the Shadow Marches, which is an orc, goblin, and half-orc homeland in Khorvaire, outside of the main kingdoms. Its impact on the Great War was small. The tribes of the Shadow Marches were fine to let the humans fight. The orcs had their home and stood with nature. However, eventually all were affected by the last war. The Shadow Marches are a dark place with connections to Zoriat, the Realm of Madness, considered by the main kingdoms of Khorvaire to be a backwater swamp. They're wrong, and there is a developed orc civilization here. Their way of life, though, doesn't fit into the mold of what humans think civilization is. There are few cities, with the majority being small tribes and villages. Just looking at the placement of the Shadow Marches, there isn't much strategic value in conquering it. You'd just be getting swampland mostly, and the orcs are strong. To remove them from the land would be a huge effort that would leave you open on the other side for other nations to invade your realm. This is one of the reasons that it has mostly been left alone. Now, the population of the Shadow Marches is around 500,000. Half of those are orcs, with humans, goblins, half-orcs, and others making up the rest. Can you imagine the Khorvaire census takers that got this information? How many of you reside in swampland? Is this cave for 3 or 4? Also, the life expectancy of a goblin is so short that once a decade census might not be often enough. It's important to note that the Shadow Marches are not a nation. No one voice or village speaks for all of the Shadow Marches, but with the creation of House Thrask, if you want to deal with creatures of the Shadow Marches, you may as well just deal with that house. The Marches were left alone for a long while until House Civis did an expedition there and found lots of valuable dragon shards and people with dragon marks, which are the magical tattoos or birthmarks that appear on humanoid creatures within Eberron. You are considered part of a house if you have this dragon mark. Now, the dragon mark of finding was discovered by House Civis and resulted in the creation of House Thrask. Clans who have this dragon mark join together for economic improvement, and it is believed House Thrask controls much of the Shadow Marches. The largest city in the Shadow Marches, and widely considered its capital, unofficially, is Zarashak. It has become the center of commerce for this area and also the main point of contact between the outside world and the Shadow Marches, which is usually through House Thrask. There is a terrible history to the Shadow Marches, which is known to the druids that live there, but probably less known to the kingdoms of Khorvaire. Great aberrations known as the Delkir invaded the Shadow Marches, their madness spilling out from the underground depths of Khyber. Now, druids of the area fought the Delkir to protect their homeland, and those druids became known as the Gatekeepers. A long war was fought with the druids winning, but the Shadow Marches were changed, and some aberrational monsters still roam around the lands to this day. The main Delkir were locked away in Khyber and sealed by the druids, but the Delkir are patient, and they know that their return is inevitable. From the darkness, the Delkir sow seeds of madness within the Marches. You'll often find cults that worship the creatures here, mind flayers, beholders, perhaps followers of the cults of the dragon below. Now, the people from the Marches believe that civilization has blinded the others. They've lost their mystical connections to the land. The truth is found in the voices of croaking frogs and seen in running water. Now, because of the swamp, navigation is difficult, and many walk on stilts, and villages are built similarly to stay above the soggy ground. I mentioned dragon shards earlier, and the Shadow Marches became a place with numerous areas to mine for them. Now, dragon shards are magical crystals that can be used for a variety of purposes. They can enhance the powers of a dragon mark, they can be used in the creation of magical constructs and other magic items, or to bind elementals. The crystals were crucial in the creation of the lightning rail within Khorvaire. These dragon shards have been a significant source of wealth for House Thrask, with orcs, humans, and goblins mining them for the house. Because of profit, House Thrask is expanding, and not everyone within the Shadow Marches appreciates this. Some gatekeeper druids feel the house is taking advantage of the orcs and the land. Some want to be left alone, and they value House Thrask talking to the other civilized nations on their behalf. Most Marchers have little interest in the outside world and aim to keep Khorvaire safe from the Delkir threat that lies below. Within Eberron, there is a concept of manifest zones, certain places within the material plane that have a thin barrier that goes to another plane of existence. These planes are unique in Eberron, but are a reflection of the Great Wheel in other D&D multiverse campaign settings. Within the Shadow Marches, the realm of madness and chaos known as Zoriat bleeds through. Gatekeeper druids guard these places, but rarely venture into them. The land is changed, animals are changed into aberrations, and if you go there, your character might be changed. Spending too much time near a manifest zone could cause madness, time dilation, or worse. I'll list the books down below in the description of where I gathered information for this video. Feel free to take a look. The Shadow Marches would be an interesting place to have an adventure. Maybe the largest dragon shard ever found was discovered, and they need your party to go find it, secure it, and bring it back to power a device that could undo the mourning. The lawless Shadow Marches, I'm sure there are plenty of groups, tribes, and creatures that would be interested in this giant dragon shard. Be prepared to stop them as you haul this amazing magical discovery back to Thrain. Thanks for watching. If you want more Eberron goodness, I have a playlist that I'll put a link to in this video, and I'm also currently in an Eberron campaign that is streaming on The Mighty Dungeon, run by Kugo. If you're interested, we go live on Twitch Fridays at 5 p.m. Pacific over on his channel, linked down below. Thanks for watching and subscribing, sharing this video with your gaming group, and I will see you all